I say this without any self-serving intention. I may be a practitioner before the Supreme Court, but I do understand the sanctity of the institution. Please do not mistake what I'm trying to say. Sanctity of an institution is very different from whether people respect that particular institution today. That's a different question altogether. Therefore, I am of the conscious opinion that it is okay for a society to lose its confidence in the politician. But a society should never lose confidence in the judiciary, because that is your option of last resort. And in the current setup, if you lose faith in that particular institution, or that institution has not been able to inspire your confidence, then as a community, you really have no option, which is to say the government doesn't want to do what you want it to do. That particular arm of the state which is supposed to act as a check and balance over the government is not in sync with your position. Then the only option that is left to you, unfortunately, are unconstitutional or extra-constitutional options, which is not right, which no community wants to be pushed to, and certainly not the Hindu community. Because after all, this is your homeland, and therefore you don't want to do anything that undermines the Constitution. Whether anybody else has any kind of allegiance to the Constitution or not, Hindus certainly continue to have faith in the Constitution by default. So therefore, it is extremely important to pay attention to every judicial verdict that concerns your faith and its institutions as much and perhaps even more than what the government does. Because it happens to be a technical outcome or a legal outcome, half of the time people move away from it because they don't know what to make of it. Or the language is a barrier, or the technicality of the language or the complication of the language is a barrier. And that's one of the reasons that you need people who are in a position to break down for the understanding of the common public what is the meaning of a certain judgment. Now, it so happens that at least as far as this particular community is concerned, the Hindu community is concerned, it has produced fantastic lawyers. But it hasn't produced enough lawyers who are interested in acting as mediators between the system and the community, so that the community is in a position to understand the implications of the system's decisions. Other communities have, on a regular basis, because they understand the value, or at least they understand the disincentive of not participating in a judicial process. So while I'll circle back to the central theme of the topic, I'm trying to tell you that if Hindus do not produce more Hindu-minded lawyers, then I think out of the three arms of the state, you have effectively alienated yourself from an extremely critical arm of the state, which is the judiciary. Hindu lawyers are different from Hindu-minded lawyers. Please understand that critical distinction. So just because you have produced a lot of lawyers who come from your community doesn't mean that these are lawyers who bat for the community. Now, for such investments to be made, you need the institution to be free to invest its resources in the community, which is why his topic is so relevant. The community must have the autonomy to invest in these critical areas without looking for profit or loss. Because nobody else will have that incentive. Whether it's an individual or the government, it will always look for whether it's a profitable decision. But only the community and its institutions can also take a decision which is not exactly profit-making, but which is critical, imperative, and existential. Because this is what public money and communities' money is meant for.